Hi, I'm Mike Bedard with Cinema Singularity, and today I'm speaking with Sophie Edwards and Randy Havens of the new film Guacamole Yesterdays, which has the best title I've heard in a long time. So, how are you both doing today?
Doing great.
I'm awesome.
So, this
Thanks
is
for
going
having
to
us, man.
be, oh, yeah, thank you for your time, taking the time to speak with me. I love the film, it's great, it's very funny, can also be very sad. So, to kick things off, what would you say are your go-to movies when you're in the mood for a good cry?
Oh wow.
That's a really good question.
I just saw one called The Penguin Lessons and rip me apart. So
Those
What is that
penguins.
about?
I'm just gonna it is about a professor in the 70s who's teaching English at a South American university, and he comes across a penguin that's stuck in an oil slick, and he like takes it back to his like hotel room and like washes it, like cleans it off to like impress a woman, but then he can't get rid of it. It just follows him around everywhere, and so he has to like take it back to school with him. And and then it just like becomes like the mascot of the college.
That sounds awesome.
Sounds
Wait, is
delicious.
that new?
Yeah, brand new, just
Okay,
came
I'll
out.
have to check that out if I need a good cry.
Yeah, it's
Animals do it for me too. Like
Yeah.
Fly Away Home came to mind. Have you guys seen that?
mhm.
That one, I always cry real hard.
Yeah, any movie where it's like a dog is on the poster prominently, and it's very heavily implied in the trailer that like I'm not gonna watch that. I can't watch those. They're or there was that one where like a bunch of dogs died in
Oh
like
my
the movie.
gosh.
The dog keeps getting reincarnated as other dogs. So
Oh right, yeah, there was actually literally one where it was just the dog dies over and over again.
it's nothing but
It's,
dog death. I can't
it's so
bring myself
sad.
to it. Yeah,
Why? What's so sad about dogs dying to you?
Nothing.
Okay.
It's not sad at all. Yeah.
totally cool thing that will happen to all dogs. So can you talk about your impressions of the script and how you came to be involved in the project?
Did you say me?
Either one, I guess.
Okay.
Yeah, you
Script
start.
if they're
I think
both.
Sophie has a more interesting story.
Not really. I mean, Hudson sent, or maybe Jordan sent me the script. I just had my first baby and it was very emotional at the time. I remember reading the script and thinking, oh, this is great. I love these characters. I love this dialogue. And then I get to the major twist and was heartbroken. Um, so I remember, yeah, that was a gut punch when I didn't need a gut punch, but
Hmm.
I mean,
loved the script.
didn't Hudson write it for you?
That's what he says, which is like,
Oh, you don't believe him?
no, I do. I just that's such a it's such a big thing for someone to write something with you in mind.
Yeah,
It's hard to even own that. Like
yeah. You should never tell anyone.
that's such an honor. I mean, I don't know.
I would say it every time. I'd be like,
You wrote this for
Hudson wrote
me.
this movie for me, with me in mind. He was like, this character is you. That's me.
Yeah.
So,
It is. I mean, it's the coolest thing ever. So I feel deeply honored.
um,
How did the script come across your desk?
I think I think it was just Hudson just reached out to me. And said, basically put the offer out. Um, obviously with the caveat, he's like, hey, this is ultra low budget. Like, you're not going to get paid $1 million to do this movie, but we'd love to have you. And so I was like, well, obviously the big thing in like when I'm not going to get paid very much is it good? Um, because obviously if the script is bad, I'm like, yeah, no, I'm not going to do that.
Right.
I'll just send it to my agent and go, hey, turn them down and say not available or something. Oh, I just gave away my secret. Um, so this one was actually I said, I read it, loved it, thought it had a great third act, and loved the story up until then as well. But yeah, literally my jaw dropped when I read like the third act. Um, And so this one was one where I sent Hudson to my agent and said, submit this to my agent. I'm going to talk to them beforehand and say, we're good to go. But it's got to go through them, obviously. Um, and so, yeah, that's what happened. And I could never like, I had just assumed that somebody else had like told Hudson, like, hey, you should get this guy. But I don't know. I still don't, to this day, I don't know how or why he just decided to offer this to me.
You have a lot of credits to your name, so I feel as though they're just big fans of everything you've ever done.
I mean, yeah, obviously. Um, but you know, specifically,
Yeah.
I don't know what made him think Randy Havens is the guy for this because it is a different character than I normally play. You know, so I don't get to often like stretch the muscles that I did for this movie.
And Sophie, you've worked with Jordan and Hudson before for
Mhm.
Road Alone. Was there anything specifically about Jordan's directing or Hudson's writing that really made you want to work with them again? I guess other than the fact that this role was written for you.
Yeah. Well, just the opportunity to work with them because I worked with them on a short before I worked with them on their first feature and just got to develop really good friendships with them and knowing how they worked. And I knew that because this is a weighty script, it's not something that you want to, that's not a journey you want to embark on with somebody you don't trust. And I trust them implicitly. So I knew that that would be, I would be in good hands. The script would be in good hands. I mean, well, Hudson wrote it, but, and they're just a lot of fun to work with. So like all of that together, I think contributed to my decision to be a part of it.
Was there anything specifically they would do on set to kind of lighten the mood, since the script, the story does delve into some dark areas at points?
Yeah, Sophie, who would be the one to lighten the mood on set?
Yeah, that would be Mr. Randy Havens. Thankfully. Yeah, I'm so grateful that you were there with your humor because there wasn't a whole lot that Jordan and Hudson were doing to like lighten the mood. I think they would just, which is nice because they would just they'd let it be what it is. They um, let me sit in my feelings. So
You both deliver phenomenal performances as the central couple. Did you get a lot of time to hang out before filming started to really hone in on those character dynamics, or how did you go about building your relationship?
No, this was done during COVID times.
Hmm.
So Sophie and I had our own dressing rooms, and so we were like separated, like pretty much the entire shoot. And so the only time that we saw each other was like on set, um, because everybody's got masks on anyway. So, the only time we could have our masks off was like on set. Um, so it was really like, hey, let's get in there. Let's vibe with each other like right before we start filming, and um, finding the energy of the scene. Running a rehearsal or two, um, and yeah, that was it. It was basically in the moment, like finding that energy.
mhm. Yeah, I'm grateful that we hit it off because there was I don't think we had any rehearsal or rehearsal that was supposed to be built in. There was a blizzard, so we didn't really have
Yeah,
any of that time.
yeah, we had like one table read, I think, and then like a week or two later started filming.
Yeah.
I guess that makes sense. It was like COVID. I guess we still are in COVID times, but it is such a small cast, very tight knit cast, and a small crew. How did that experience of working with very few co-stars, because most of the scenes are just you two doing your thing? How did it differ from some of the other projects you've each been on?
Yeah, I think it's because it's a smaller thing, it's just much more intimate, and kind of one of the things that I have learned in my career anyway is like you have to just kind of go take up space. Um, and it's not hard to do when you're in a collaborative, open environment like this one. Um, and so uh, it's great. It was great for me and Sophie. I think I know there was at least one actor who did not like the way that I took up space, um, because a lot of people, they're like, well, these are my lines that I have to say, and I'm there are obviously some portions of the script where it's like, well, you definitely have to stick to the script here, but then there are some portions where it's like I'm trying to make Sophie laugh. Randy is trying to make Sophie laugh. And so I'm saying different lines to get a different reaction out of Sophie. But then there are other actors in the scene who are like, I don't know when to say my line. And so I'm like, okay, well, I will definitely like end my improv with the line that cues you. Um,
Which is
uh,
that's a tall, I mean, I feel like that's a tall task to well, you made it look seamless, but to improvise, but make sure you're ending on the line so that they have their cue.
mhm. Yeah, it's something that I've figured out how to do. Just like it's just a muscle that gets built. And so having the freedom to do that, having the freedom to have a sense of play with Sophie, um, it's just a really magical um, set that Jordan and Hudson have created, uh, to allow us kind of the freedom and the space to like um, really kind of embody who these people are.
Well said.
Since Randy had sounds like some improvisational moments. Sophie, were you able to kind of mess around with the script at all, or did you kind of stick more
There,
close to
yeah, there's quite a lot of improv for sure, which is stuff I have experience with, which is great. And I am also very grateful that Hudson and Jordan let us play and let us take liberties with the script at certain places. Yeah, I really enjoy improv when I can do it.
You both play different kinds of artists in the film. Did you draw upon any of your own experiences as actors or any other art forms you dabble with to help inform those sides of your characters?
I related more with Franklin and his artistic journey than I do with Ames. So I felt I had a lot of empathy for Franklin. Um, so I wasn't necessarily drawing from my own experience with Ames. What about you, Randy?
Yeah, I think there are definitely parts of Franklin that I identify with. Not necessarily like his journey, because uh I'm like a grind it out kind of guy. I'm like, well, if I just work harder than everybody else, I'll eventually um see the benefits. And I think Franklin is like I was probably more inspired by like people that I've met along the way, um, who just like want um, success. And that's never been the goal,
Hmm.
right? The goal has never been like I want to succeed. I would like to someday retire and not starve to death, but um, the goal is not like, oh, I'm only going to be happy if I'm like, successful. Um and obviously like, there's the whole like um having a fallback, which I don't, I when I really started like having some success as an actor, like there was no fallback there. I just like it was like there's no safety net. So if I fail, like that's it. Like um I'm gonna fail big. And I think Franklin, because of like situations that are presented in the movie, like Franklin has to have like, well, I need to like have a safety net here.
Absolutely. Uh, this next question, you don't have to answer, or we can just move on if you
Okay, great. Great way to start a question.
I guess, yeah.
Now I'm really
I
interested
guess
in this
I'm going to
question.
ask a
that's
question,
technically
but
any
you don't
question.
have to answer it.
Any question, I guess technically you could be like, I don't want to talk about that.
How dare you, sir?
But I did want to talk about the use of intimacy coordinators that I saw in the credits, just because I think
Mm-hmm.
it's great that a small production like this is using them, especially seeing like bigger productions. At least some of them you hear the stories of like being reluctant to utilize them. So just curious about your experiences working with intimacy coordinators and what that experience was like.
I was I had never worked with one before. And I was super grateful that Jordan and Hudson made that a priority. Like they're one of their first priorities is just where everyone feels safe and heard. So I'm really, really grateful for that. Even though they were, it's not like heavy scenes where you necessarily would think that you would need one, but I was very grateful to have one. Especially, I mean, not to bring up babies again, but I had just had my second baby coming into this shoot. And so, like, everything feels very emotional, everything feels heightened. It's already a weighty script. And so, them having somebody there to kind of walk you through all that stuff, make sure everybody feels good and safe, and that was helpful. And I don't think I would have thought it would be necessary, but I'm very grateful that we had the coordinators we had there. What do you think, Randy?
Yeah, I've been on sets before where I could tell people were uncomfortable. Um, and I would feel like it was the onus was on me as an actor to like kind of put them at ease. And I don't want that responsibility. Uh, because it is my job, obviously, to make sure that anyone that I'm in a scene with is going to be comfortable. Uh, the fact that they're uncomfortable, that they've been made uncomfortable by the circumstances, like that they got something put on them last minute or something like that, is like unacceptable. As an actor to have to deal with, and nothing something that I would have to deal with because I've never come to a set and that had them be like, oh, you're gonna like not be wearing a shirt today. Um, uh, anytime like there was any sort of like, hey, this is gonna happen, it would be known like well ahead of time. I'd work with coordinators and whatnot. But no, I've been yeah, I've been on sets where like it was like, oh, this actor is being put in a very uncomfortable situation. How can I help like fix this, as opposed to everybody's comfortable, which is what an intimacy coordinator, that's their job, is like everybody's comfortable coming in, right? Okay, and then how do we keep that going within the scene today? Um, which was what this experience was, and yeah, it's a great thing because I think female actors have an extra like pressure put on them a lot of times to just go along with what's done on the day, because
Mm-hmm.
no, you don't want to show up to set and then be like, well, I'm the reason that we can't shoot today. um and so I think a lot of producers have taken advantage of that through the years, and I think it's a great step forward to have intimacy coordinators be a part of the process, um so that there can be a buffer in between the actor and the production. And so that you can't go into a thing and go, oh, well, because of this actor, this is, and it's like, no, because like we've set this up beforehand, right? Like the intimacy coordinator has coordinated with everybody so that we're all on the same page coming into this day, so that no one is shocked and surprised. Um, so that everybody knows, like, hey, here's a limit, here's a limit. We have to shoot within these parameters.
absolutely. And I think it's great to normalize the conversation and normalize having that role on set,
Hmm.
regardless of like the size of production. Uh, Randy, my 8-year-old nephew is the biggest Stranger Things fan. So I apologize for throwing a Stranger Things question at you, even though I'm sure Netflix has snipers on you. Um, so I asked him uh, what he wants to ask you as such a fan of the show. So, question is Mr. Clark okay? Are we going to see him again?
Uh, as far as I know, Mr. Clark is fine. And we'll just have to wait and see if we see Mr. Clark again.
So, without getting into what guacamole means in the larger context, any spoilers regarding that? Uh, do each of you have a comfort food when you're feeling a little in the dumps?
I go through phases. So I'll have like a phase where I really love this comfort food, and then a phase, maybe that is kind of like Ames, but right now it's a hazelnut chocolate bar. But it's have you guys ever had Hugh Bar?
No.
It's like grass fed. I know I sound so crunchy saying that stuff, but anyway, it's like grass fed milk with like organic chocolate. That's my comfort food.
Wow. I'm also going to go chocolate. Do you guys know Honey Mama's?
No.
Honey Mama's is, and we're going real crunchy. It's cacao, honey, and then like one other ingredient, whatever like the extra flavor is. Um, so
Where do you get that?
I actually have you can get it at Whole Foods, you can get it at Sprouts. Um, boom. This is Honey
And you have
Mama's.
it. Oh, a peanut
Oh,
butter cup. Okay.
Oh my god, it's so good. It's so good. Let's see.
I'm gonna try
Yeah,
that.
peanuts, honey, coconut oil, cocoa. Like very simple, very crunchy.
Love it.
Um, yeah, love me some Honey Mamas. I'm a big chips and salsa guy. I don't need to be feeling bad to eat it either. By the way, my comfort food is I just want to be
you
comfortable
can
all the
always use
time.
comfort, like
Yeah,
bad.
no, I know, but like you're like when you're feeling down in the dumps, I'm like I don't need to be feeling down in the dumps. I'll, I'll eat it when I'm feeling good, so I feel great.
You're already feeling comforted, and so
Yeah,
you just embrace the
yeah.
comfort.
Hmm.
Yeah.
This interview is brought to you by Honey Mamas.
Thank you. And what is yours called? Sweetums? What is yours?
Hugh Bar.
Hugh Bar.
Please send all three of us your wonderful products.
I know.
Start getting some sponsorships on this channel. So thank you again, both of you, for taking the time to speak with me today. So my last question is just what's next for you, Sophie?
I am currently on a show on NBC called Grosse Pointe Garden Society. I play a very sleazy private detective. Um, got a big arc coming up these final two episodes. Very exciting.
I didn't know that. I'm really excited to see this.
It's very very exciting.
Awesome.
So it's a lot like Desperate Housewives. So um, if you like murder in the suburbs, it's funny and like sexy and like cool. It's great.
Love it. And I shot a short film last fall. It's in post-production. So I'm not as prolific an actor as Mr. Havens.
You'll get there.
Yeah, it's coming.
Well, thank you again so much for your time, and please go see Guacamole Yesterdays. It is in theaters or VOD. One
We're
of
having
those.
screenings right now. It should be on VOD shortly.
Screenings right now, VOD shortly. Go check it out. Either platform. Thank you again, Sophie and Randy, for your time.
Thanks, Mike.
Thanks, Mike.